we must have buy-in from the youth populace, the massive youth populace that we have. Our history, recent history of violent activities ensured that most of the businesses disappeared at that point. And if we were in that situation, Governor Seraki Disin will not be discussing tourism. But that camp came out of ardent work by all stakeholders. And it was a situation where we had to communicate non-violence training and education, where the power of love is utilized to attract or to communicate to the other person, getting things done using the power of love, as espoused by Martin Luther King, as espoused by Albert Luthuli of South Africa, as espoused by Mahatma Gandhi. This is what we communicated to our youth at the time. They understood because it was a powerful tool. Also, connecting that with tourism will be to now do a whole lot of progress from that, to do value reorientation and constantly communicate to our people those three words: I am sorry. Those other words: please. And they smile like the Rwandans have done. I mean, it is an enactment of negative history sometimes when you get to the airports and you see officials, engaging people as if they don't even want them. That's not at the state level. That's at another level. So it must, like you said, I think it was Ben Bruce, it must have a communication with the national level, that kind of link between the state level and the national level to ensure that those visitor attractive, indices or ideas are communicated to all our officials so that people can see themselves as welcome to Nigeria and then to Bayelsa.
Thank you, Mr. Alaibe. Now, I'd like to, if you could give the microphone, please, to Mrs. Ebizi Brown. You are the Director General of the Bayelsa State Tourism Development Agency. And Mr. Bruce said something that caught my attention, which I guess I could articulate in a question quite simply, which is, when it comes to tourist attractions in Bayelsa, how do you create them? How do you prioritize them to reflect Bayelsa's natural gifts?
Thank you. Well, there are a lot of natural tourist attractions already existing in Bayelsa. Bayelsa is one of the cities where hundreds of years ago there was slavery. There were a lot of wars fought here and all of that. So you have a lot of historic sites that were left behind. You have the Akasa slave tunnel. You have the white man's grave, both in Akasa and in Brass. You have a lot of great monuments left by great kings in Nembe. Now, when it comes, so you have all of that existing, and I think, like the cities that started from nothing, we are lucky to have started with something to actually sell to the world. Coming back into the city, closer to the Yenagoa city, we also have the first oil well ever dug, which is Oloibiri, which a lot of people know about. We have a lot of monuments to great men that passed away, which we would love to showcase to the world as well. We also have a lot of interesting shrines that people don't know much about. Naturally, we also, in all our various communities, we have beautiful festivals that hold celebrating one kind of occurrence that happened hundreds of years ago and all of that. Now, one of the first things we've been doing, when it comes to prioritizing, is trying to document these festivals, get the world to know about them, because we know by doing that alone, it's enough to attract a lot of tourists into Bayelsa. Moving on from that, we are also working alongside that, ensuring that people come into Bayelsa, have a taste of Bayelsa, with the beautiful international standard entertainment events that we've been holding. At the same time, you can see that we are actively marketing, for we have one of the largest coastlines that Nigeria has. So we are actively marketing, hoping that we can have private sector support in order to be able to also indulge in resort developments as well in the very near future. Within the capital, the state government, with the projects he outlined, you can see that a lot has started and there's a lot of avenues.
What does the ideal investor look like?
Well, somebody who would be happy for the enabling environment that has been created, who has the money to come partner with the government to actually create a development that will yield revenue for the state. Because the main goal actually is to divert from an oil-based economy to an economy where we can actually make a good deal amount of money from tourism.
Thank you, madam. If you could hand the microphone to your right. Mr. Valentine Ozigbo is the managing director of Transcorp Hilton Abuja, and I'm sure many of you have stayed in what is if they had 6 stars, it would be a 6-star hotel. Now, part of your job is to look, when you're in the hotel business, it's not about remaining static. It's about expansion. And it's about choosing the right places to invest and spend your money and build these wonderful hotels. I have a very simple question for you, sir. What is the ABC of hotel development? And can you give me a case study?
Thank you, Mark. Your Excellency, I just want to acknowledge the wonderful work you're doing. And I'll go straight to Mark's question, the ABC of hotel development. There is need for us to understand that hotel development is a specialized field. A lot of people jump into this, making lots of mistakes, and we pay the price down the line. And the simple thing is that there must be a balance between your vision, your market, and economics. What are you building? Who are you building for? What vision do you have? Every hotel must fit the location for it to be right. Which are the markets that you are targeting? And Timmy actually addressed some of these in his presentation. And by the time you strike that right balance between what that vision you have and what the market is asking you for, and you run your numbers, you must run your numbers because you must balance your optimism with your prudence. It's when you run the numbers and they make sense, then that hotel has chance of being sustainable. Then you get into the next phase, which is assembling the experts. What you don't know, you don't know. You must get your expert right on time, not when you've made your mistakes. So who are the experts? I'm talking about the operators. I'm talking about the architects, the engineering team, and even to the little things like the lighting. When you're building this conferencing facility, did you engage a lighting consultant? When you're doing your back of house, your kitchen, is that enough? And you can get into those little details, building the infrastructure. And of course, get into the soft issues, because it's not just about a great hotel, it's also about the service. How do you actually create that orientation? And I like what has been said before about creating that right, habit, the culture. And guess what? It's very simple. It can be built. It is possible that whoever gets into Bayelsa, Yenagoa, can experience 6-star quality, even in a small hotel here. And to do that is you consciously build it. There's no story about it. Simple, you build it. So right from the taxi drivers, the security people, down to the people that serve you, front office, down to the room service. And you get experts, train these people, it becomes their way of life. So that when you mention Yenagoa, people can associate quality and excellence to it.
Yeah, do you, when you're making your decisions on where to invest millions to build a Hilton hotel, and you look at a potential growth area like Bayelsa, the tourism is not there yet, but the opportunity is there. The visitors are coming and it's rising, but they're not there yet. How do you make that decision to say, we're going to build a 185-room hotel?